Gmail account and I didn't have it on the district account, and so I was logging in on the link, but it wasn't working.
That's okay. We'll get to try it again next meeting, probably.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Jeremy said he was trying to get in, Jeremy. Two Jeremys.
I'm not seeing any, for some reason, it's not showing me any admin requests. Technically, it should have admitted Donna. It should have just popped up here to admit Donna, but it's not,
Call Jeremy Faulkner. We've got Matt. Matt's on here. And then we got 606 something with ending in 52.
I just got here and
Hey, there he is. Okay.
then I moved it off in. Hey, there he is.
We're ready to
Oh, we're
go.
rocking and rolling now.
Yeah. Make them all live, by the way.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:17. Welcome, everybody, and thank you guys for being here tonight. And we will start off, if we could stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, just a reminder for the ones that are here, there is a sign-in sheet if you'd like to sign in. And Mr. Saylor, do we have any revisions?
There's really no revisions to speak of, but we will maybe under superintendent's report, I'll give you a little bit of update about what's going on with school for the rest of this semester and maybe starting into next semester as well, just based on the governor's recent order yesterday.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have a presentation by Bluegrass Orthopedics.
Thank you. We usually like to do this at a football game, but I think we can understand why we're not doing it there. I'm going to go ahead and read this, and I just want to show a bit of gratitude and thanks. Estill County Athletics and Bluegrass Orthopedics would like to acknowledge our annual recipient of the Sports Medicine Person of the Year Award, to Mr. Jeffrey Saylor and Estill County Board of Education. This award champions an individual, or in this case a group of individuals, who serve selflessly in the care and protection of Estill County student athletes. This board understood the importance of the health and safety of each engineer, student athlete, and between the partnership with Bluegrass Orthopedics, the school system, and Markham and Wallace Hospital, there is now an athletic trainer assisting every student athlete here at the high school. Mr. Saylor has been an advocate for sports medicine even before he became superintendent of Estill County Schools. Our board here, from what I understand, is made up of fellow healthcare professionals, dedicated parents, and passionate community members who understand the value of sports medicine coverage at the high school level. And our sports medicine program would not be possible without their support. We'd like to present this gift to Estill County Sports Medicine Person of the Year, Mr. Jeff Saylor, and the Board of Education. There is a matching gift or matching item that I'm about to show you at our sports medicine clinic hung up in our halls. So, I know you're not moving around too great right now. I'll throw it to you. Here you go, sir. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
And I know the board, this was something that it goes back to, I guess, Margaret Wood was our athletic director at the time, and she began making the first steps. And I know as a board, we're very appreciative for you all, for Markham Wallace, and for, our partnership together. Because it is important that we take care of our student athletes, just like all of our kids. And we've been very blessed to have a partnership with you all. And as you know, we're in the process of a high school athletic renovation. And so you all will know, not only will we have a training room that will be located inside the high school at the gymnasium, but also as part of the new athletic complex at the football soccer stadium, there'll be an athletic training room there as well. So,
This lady next to me is ecstatic.
so that is very important. It's been a missing piece of our athletic program for quite a while, and we're appreciative for what you all done. And thank you all for this, and we'll make sure to display it
Yeah, well, thank you all.
here at the office.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Don't fumble. No, thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have facilities, and we have the construction update. And I think first we have Multi Vista presentation for current projects.
Yeah, and we got Matt on here, and if y'all want to, you can see Matt back here behind you. I'll pull this around, and then Jeremy's going to show you the presentation. And I felt like the board really needed to see what Multi Vista was doing for us in terms of pretty much documenting this project through pictures, so that not only we'll have the record of the construction of these two projects, but we'll also be able to use this for years to come in terms of maintenance on these buildings. So Matt, we're glad to have you today, and ma'am, we're ready for you to go.
Yeah, glad to be here. Glad to be here. I'm hoping this is kind of seamless here. I want to share my window. Let's see if it works.
Matt not practiced this earlier, so it should.
Here it comes.
I think I can see it in your screen. Looks like we're good. And if it's too small, I can always try to enlarge it and kind of let me know. But so yeah, I appreciate the time, guys. This is just a quick look into your guys' project. Like Jeff was saying, this is more to track the progress during construction, but also a long-term vision of getting it in your facility folks' hands so they know where things are at under the concrete and behind the wall, more of a facility maintenance tool as well. I'm just going to dive right in. The central bus garage is the one that's just about completed. We at Multi Vista don't just take photos. No, we actually link them to your plans. So kind of going through some of the unique shoots here, I'll just kind of start with the site survey. But you'll see we've got quite a bit of different shoot types that we're doing. And it's everything from before things started to tracking the outside progress to tracking, slab on grade to capture all the underground utilities, as well as tracking the inside of the project, and even capturing photographic as-built. So all the facility personnel know of a very timed shoot of what's behind their walls and ceilings. And just to kind of go into some of the photos, and I'll quickly kind of show you an example of each. I've got a few tags, but you'll quickly see that we've loaded your guys' site plan, and every one of those arrows is going to be a photograph. Now, this was a site survey exact built, which we've done kind of before mobilization, just for an insurance policy. But you can see if I click on a photo, it's going to bring up the little thumbnail that I can click on. So these are all date stamped photographs that are tied to the location. So you can see we did this almost a year ago already, which is amazing. But this site survey was done just in case the roads were damaged or anything around the project site was damaged, that we had a nice record of what was happening. So I won't spend too much time on these non-pretty shots, but this is crucial to the construction process of just knowing how things were before they started. On renovation projects, we do a lot of the inside as well before a renovation project would start. But some of the prettier shots, as I kind of move through the project, is loading the project itself. So this is a site plan, and you can see we've kind of went around the project site on the outside, where now I click on an arrow, you're going to see all the photos that we took at that certain spot over time. And being that it's linked, it's got a great advantage during construction, because an OAC meeting or a progress meeting, especially now with a lot of online meetings, you guys can actually walk around the job site on a particular day and get questions answered, and GCs can verify pay applications and things like that. What's great about something like this is we can actually change from same day to same location, and now we can kind of get that time lapse where, hey, what happened a couple weeks ago, or what happened last month, when was it installed? You know, these questions come up on construction projects all the time, and usually someone's taken a photo but no one can find it or get a hold of the person that did. This is a way to keep all these photographs, you know, as a property of the school and have it professionally done to where when these things do come up, whether it's during construction or afterwards, we can find the photo easily, one, and two, get it resolved. You know, it's a win-win situation where we're not trying to be Big Brother. We're just trying to give the most accurate information to come to the best conclusion as quickly as possible. So, as you can see, it's pretty easy to navigate. I'm kind of going back monthly, right? You can kind of see how this is coming together. And with facilities, it's even more important, especially on the inside. And I'll kind of get to that as I kind of go through these shoot types of, once we get to some of these exactables, which are different than progressions, and I'll highlight it. These are more milestones. So this was a slab on grade, and I'll show the bathrooms because they're pretty nice to show because there's a lot of underground utilities, but not so much pretty shots as they are constructive shots because it shows what's under the concrete once it's poured. So if there's any issues, and this might be 5 years down the line, if there's a water issue, you might need to see what's underneath this concrete, and what a better way to be able to find it in 3 mouse clicks and get that question answered or get that done very quickly. So this overlapping photography that where we link to a floor plan, we think it's crucial not only during construction, but afterwards. And this doesn't come offline. You know, this stays online forever. And with our mobile app, a lot of the folks out in the field doing their work orders can use this as they're walking through the building. A good example, and I'll kind of show you on the inside, is, you know, we might be in a certain classroom or a certain area and need to click on an arrow while you're standing there and actually see what's behind the wall to be able to put up a cabinet or a fire extinguisher or whatnot. Here's some of the shots on the inside. Again, you can see them date stamped up in the top left. This was taken last week. And again, I can walk through the building on any particular day, but I can also click a button and walk back in time. And I can see how this building was kind of coming together. So these are your photos as well. So as far as social media and downloading them, it's very easy to build reports and download and share your photos as well. So if you keep that in mind, that we can build these progress, you know, reports, and then it can be shared in meetings and whatnot over time. And just kind of clicking through some of the interesting shots. So this is our main shoot. This is our MVP exact build, and we're just now getting to this stage and getting these done on the bus garage. But you'll kind of see as I scroll in, this is a very timed shoot, and again, not so much a pretty shot as it is a functional shot of this. Once this is covered up, you know, you have to pop ceiling tiles or maybe doing destructive testing to get some of this information. This is what's crucial when inspectors come in and try to finish up a project and need to see behind things that were covered up because they're trying to move the project along. A lot of times they'll have them open those spaces up to verify information behind it. We can be used to prevent that kind of thing and just keep the project on schedule. And not to mention, once we train and add all the facility personnel, they'll also always have access to this information as well. So I'll just kind of click through the project. We kind of see it navigating in the bottom right as I kind of go through the project and look at all the different areas. But a lot of crucial information that once it's covered up, you know, I can zoom in and I can find where these pipes are at. And that might be crucial, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe it's 4 years from now. And in 4 years from now, anybody that's taking a photo, that photo is gone. Well, that's why our platform's here to make that stuff readily accessible. To kind of show you a gallery style view, this is just the same photos, but to show you that there's about 1,000 linked photos on this bus garage, all broken out. Jeremy's taken some of his own drone photos as well, so very easy to add external photos to our system. But yeah, just an overall, it was a great project. It's something where This isn't a huge high school, but it's still valuable information even on a small bus garage. Currently, we're working our way through the Career and Technical Center. That was the other project. I'm not going to go through every photo, but there are some great outside shots that we're starting to get along the outside of this project. And again, I could click on the arrow and kind of see that we started in September, so we've got 3 months of photos on this particular project. Where again, we can walk around the project and check it out and see what it looks like on any particular day that we were there. But also walk back in time and say, hey, well, when was that window put in? When was that tie vent put on? We need to know this information. And it might be to keep things on schedule. It might be because there's some finger pointing. It might be for a facility person just needs to get that information to do a work order. So for this project coming along swimmingly as well, our vision here at Multi-Vista is, we're not just photos. These are boots on the ground, company employees shooting your project and then coming back and linking this manually. So getting a professional photographer on your job, on your project for the entire duration, pretty awesome to be part of the project. And our job isn't done when the project's done. It stays online forever, and we can train facility personnel, and we will, and make sure that they have our mobile app and are using it in their work orders and kind of lives on for years to come. So that was my presentation. Plenty of time for questions and answers if need be. That's what I got.
You guys have any questions for Matt in terms of what we have? I don't know if you all have had an opportunity to log in. You all got the login credentials, and you can see that they upload photos every few weeks.
Yeah, Jeff, that's a good point too, because I can run a report and I'll show it on the screen. So it's good to show that we do have a public access account, it looks like, for the county school system. But if I scroll down, that you can see, weekly, almost every other day, it's getting logged in and getting used. So that's great to see that it's getting used by not only the school system, but probably the contractor. And we don't charge for users, so we want to promote people accessing it. So as far as owner, architect, general contractor, and especially different departments when it comes to facilities, we'll continue to add people that we need to add and train them as well.
I've sort of found it easier. Sometimes I usually just go to the public access one because I don't remember my password all the time. So I go to the public access site and I can look at anything that we need to look at. I just like the fact that you've got a record from day one, and he can take you back to these shots and you can see from day one to the present day. And of course,
Correct.
they're blacktopping, I believe, tomorrow at the bus garage, and that will be the final coat of blacktop there. They'll be probably striping the parking lot. There's a couple of little things that's got to be caught up there, that a couple things, pressure washer's got to be worked on, and there's some wiring for a MIG welder that needs to be taken care of, and there's a few little things on the punch list, but the bus garage is 98% done. Peter will give you an update here in a minute. Hopefully hear what we can do in the next couple weeks. If we can catch the right day, what I'd like to do at the bus garage is have like a drive-through open house. Is just give everybody the opportunity to drive up the hill. They can go around the bus parking lot and come back down, open the garage doors, let them drive right through the garage doors and see exactly what it looks like, and then they can go off the hill. We can't get everybody out and have a big event, but we can let the public see it, because it belongs to Estill County. It's the taxpayers' money, and we want to give them the opportunity to see it. And that's and we still got to do an open house at Estill Springs when everything is right. So we've got a lot of good things to show off. And then of course the tech center, we'll get an update here from Jeremy in a minute. Matt, you guys have any questions for Matt? Anything you'd like to see? Anything else?
I think so.
I just have a comment. This is Donna. I log on the public account frequently and look, and I think Multi-Vista has done a fantastic job. And I'm just super proud that we decided to go with them and document this process. And like you all said, it's there for years to come.
Well,
Absolutely, yeah, we're
yeah.
glad to be part of it.
Plus any maintenance that can work through rise with it.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about it, that Todd will be able to
Pinpoint that.
pinpoint anything. He's got it on his phone. He'll be able to pull it up right there, which is a great thing. And not only will it be Todd, but at some point in time when Todd retires, whoever, if it's Shane or whoever comes along after Todd, will be able to do it, and it'll be there for years. And you're probably not gonna have a problem 3 years from now, hopefully, or 5 years from now, but 12 years from now, you may have that pipe that freezes up that you've got to find, you know where it's at, you're gonna be able to do it right there without tearing out the whole wall to find a pipe. And that's the key. And Matt's on here, he's not maybe so much on the sales end, but we've got another project that we're in the process of moving forward on. So I want you all to be thinking about if you think this has been valuable. With the high school project, with 2 different athletic fields with softball and baseball, and also with a new stadium complex and dressing area, and then the final renovation of Estill County High School. I think we should seriously consider having Multi-Vista tag along on that project as well. It's about, as we know, about an $11 million project. You can pretty much put about $1,000, or about $1,000 with every million. So we'd be looking at about a $10,000 or $11,000 price tag, but I think it'll be priceless for what we do with this. And you can see the bus garage there. There's the front of the bus garage. He's pulled up, and you can see the plaque in there for the construction plaque and everything. The porta potty is now gone. But it's amazing what you can zoom right in on that stuff and see what's there. So just be thinking about that. It's something that maybe if we want them to present a proposal here in the next few months, we're probably talking, maybe not December. Y'all be thinking about it, and if we wish to do that, maybe sometime here at the end of this month, if we move to a December board meeting or sometime in January, with our returning and new board members, I think it would be very positive. I think the community, it gives them an opportunity too to follow what's going on. So, Matt, anything else?
No, that's what I need to get through. I just want to say that we appreciate being a part of your guys' project, and just to kind of enforce that we don't just go away after construction, right? We're here to work with your facility teams, and yeah, a lot of facility folks are getting old and they retire, and those 2 guys coming in, this is invaluable to someone like them coming in. So that's our vision.
Well, and that's what's going to happen with this old guy right here in 2 years. So, somebody will need to be here to document, to be able to see what the documentation is. Well, Matt, thank you very much. And if everybody's through,
Yeah.
we'll let you get
I'll
off
leave you guys
here.
to it.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Yep, thank you as well.
Thanks,
Have a
Matt.
nice time.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have our Area Technology Center update.
Jeremy,
Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, can you hear me, Mr. Saylor?
we've got you, brother.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'll kind of go through how I usually do the schedule. Now we got 2 buildings. Area B, I'll be referring to, is the one that's under roof right now. It's dried in. We have commenced block fill. We first coat of paint on our CMU walls, and we got drywall being finished up there, and starting Monday, we will be starting the brick up there back, and we'll get that brick complete in approximately 2 weeks. Metal wall panels, as you can see if you drive up through there, have been installed. We light probably about 10 more panels there on one corner, but you can see the vision of it coming together. I'll drop down to area A now. We did get the slab poured this week, Tuesday, on the second floor. So our block will commence on Monday. I don't know if Mr. Saylor's briefed the board members, but we had a situation happen this week. It's kind of delayed our masons. So, but we will commence that work back on Monday, 11/23, and we are still targeting to get it under roof by 1/11 next year. I'll stop right there for a minute. Anybody got any questions? Mr. Souther, you want to?
Jeremy, if you don't care, just sort of fill them in on what the situation was with Rogers Aluminum. I've not really filled them in. We had one of our subcontractors that we had to terminate their contract. It is the contractor that was responsible for the windows. And I told you all about it a little bit on our progress meeting when we visited the site a couple months ago. But just let them know where that's at and when we'll actually see those windows coming on site.
Yeah, so we had as Mr. Saylor said, we had to terminate a contractor. They pretty much went out of business and just couldn't keep up no longer. So we went with Lake Cumberland Glass Company. Same guys that owned Rogers or was in ownership at Rogers started their own company, and long story short, that's who we went with. Good group of guys. The glass now will continue to be ordered. It's in manufacturing right now, and we're looking to get that in approximately 2 more weeks. Aluminum frames and storefront will be here next week, and we'll be installing that up on B also.
And Sean and Jonathan.
So right now, Area A, like I said, we'll yeah.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
So Area A, like I was saying, we'll commence the block up there on 11/23, and then look to get that under roof on 1/11. So the substantial completion day right now is May 27th, 21, and then the final completion date is 6/29/21. Our goal is to be done a month early before August 2021 to give you all a month to get moved in and get situated. So that's our goal right now. It's our big push. If you have any questions, Mr. Saylor, I'll be happy to answer them.
Anyone have any questions? Donna, you or any of the board members here?
What do you say the roof? Jeremy, when did you say the roof would be under roof? What do you say?
111.
111?
111.
Yeah, that's when we look to be dried in. We think we can beat that by a couple of days, but that is the target right now.
This is Donna. I just had a comment. I've had a lot of people that I've talked to over the last few weeks, and they drive out there, they look at it, and they're all very excited. And I just appreciate the hard work that's went in. I think those guys out there on the project are there, rain, sleet, or snow, sunshine. It doesn't matter. I think there's been something going on out there all the time, and I appreciate that, and I know everyone else does as well.
Thank you very much, Don. I'll let them know.
Okay.
All right, next we have a pay application, number 15.
Jeremy, if you can pull that up. I tried to pull it up. For some reason, I couldn't get these downloaded last time, and it's not doing it again. But as you can see, the pay app for this time is for $770,871.92, and that's been reviewed by both Ross Tarrant and by Codell. And my recommendation, as well as their recommendation, is that we pay that application.
Motion, okay. Do we have a second? Thanks, Sheila. Any discussion?
Try to get closer.
Absolutely. All right, all in favor? Anyone opposed?
Just, I'll add a little bit to that, just so you all know that we have received our first EDA reimbursement on our $4 million grant, which was a little over $1 million. It won't be long, probably next month, we'll be ready to apply for our second reimbursement on this project. So, and the Work Ready Skills Initiative grant, we sent the application in today for the first payment on that because we have spent our match. The match money, the grant money is starting to come into the district as well. So that's good news. It's always good to be able to pay your bills.
Absolutely.
Since Donna's not here, even though she verbally said it, since we can't verify it, you'll notice she did type in the confirmation of yes. So just for the purposes of the recording, you may want to acknowledge that in case anybody questions.
Okay.
Okay. And there is her yes vote at 6:45 PM on this particular item.
All right, next we have to approve change orders number 3 through 5 and number 4.
Jeremy, if you don't care, just let them know what those change orders are.
Give me a second, 1 second. Let me get it pulled up here. So, CO 3-5 was for Rising Suns. Claim number 3, it reverted back to ASI number 9, which was up there in the Diesel Tech Lab. The trench drains we didn't have a slope on the direction. We had to get with RTA and get what kind of slope ratio they wanted there. And then we had to form it for it in order to get that slope around those trench drains. So that was the work that was involved. A little background on that, Mr. Seth.
And then the other one is 4-4 for Carmichael.
Yeah, so 4-4 was, we eliminated door 106.1, which was into the health lab. And then we added the door over into the adult ed admin access. And to fill that door in, 106.1, Carmichael charged, I believe, $330, 31 cents. That's what it was, $330, yeah. So that's the background on that.
Yes, that was the admin suite that allowed the administration of the adult ed program or alternative program to be able to access the reception area there on the main floor. And that was owner requested, by the way. We caught that, and that's one of the things we caught, and I made that request. The first change order is that's why you've got Codell on site. They saw that trench drain was not going to be sloped right. That's why you have a construction manager. They caught that on site and they were able to correct it before we had a big mistake. And that's what you've hired them for. Of course, this project wouldn't be moving at the rate that it's moving if it wasn't for them there every day. You got good subcontractors, don't get me wrong. You've got a good bunch of contractors on this project, but it takes somebody coordinating. And if y'all sit in one of those meetings I sat in today with Kenny and Jeremy as they're leading that meeting, I mean, it is clockwork, man. I mean, it's like military, and they get on top of things, and that's why you've hired them to be the construction manager on this high school project as well. So those are your 2 change orders, and they've been reviewed. RTA reviews those as well, Ross Torrent. And they come through them and then to Codell. And my recommendation is we approve those 2 change orders. We've had very few change orders right now on this project.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you very much, Mr. Staff.
You're welcome, Jeremy.
Are you seconding it? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Anyone opposed?
And Miss Donna voted yes at 650 as well.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have bus garage update.
Thank you, Jeremy.
All right, you guys, hello.
Thank you, sir. See you around.
Certainly happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to come and give you all an update on the bus garage. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about progress up there. It's been a very busy month. A lot of work has been completed, and the payout that you're looking at tonight carries the project through about 91% completion. And like Mr. Saylor said, the actual completion is much closer to about 98%. Our MEP engineer firm, CMTA, was out on the project site today doing a punch in the building. And architecture and interior punches occurred yesterday in the building itself and of the building itself. The building is lacking a few items, some mechanical and some voice data equipment that we are looking into getting finished up there. And the site, we are still looking to get final asphalt and striping, and there are gates down at the front of the site that we're also sort of working through to finish that up. I do expect site to be out to punch the building, if not next week, just after the Thanksgiving holiday. So that should give you an idea of just how close we are on this particular project. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Peter, one question, the lighting on the fuel station, where are we at with that? That's something I've not asked you about, and it just dawned on me this afternoon.
Yeah, well, CMTA is working on getting the verbiage to us to get to John Standifer to get some pricing on that. So that's where we are.
Said the pavement's starting.
I think tomorrow.
They're supposed to put the final pavement down tomorrow.
And it's a good thing to get, when you're in November, it's good to be asphalting. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that, because the plant's not gonna be open that much longer.
I know early next week, if you get the opportunity, Monday, Tuesday, once that pavement goes down, they'll pave probably tomorrow, and my guess is Saturday too, if they're gonna get done.
Yeah,
They'll work both days to try to get done. Go up there and look. Yeah, I mean, you won't believe, since we visited last, it is,
Just from the road, it looks.
Yeah, it looks really good.
absolutely, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous up there. They've got all the site work done pretty much. I mean, you talking about a beautiful facility. I mean, I know it's just a bus garage, but it is a first-class facility. There's not a better facility in this state for transportation than that one, so.
Is the E up yet?
Mr. Taylor, it's Donna. I've had a couple of people ask me at the foot of the hill, what's the entranceway gonna be like? Is it gonna be an electronic gate? Or what are we gonna have as we go up the hill for security purposes?
There is fencing on the front of that property. It is an electronic gate that drivers, as they enter. Of course, what will happen every morning is once the morning mechanic comes on duty, they'll open the gate and it'll stay open till probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock every day. But during the weekends, if a driver's out for a trip, the driver will be able to just basically hit a key fob and the gate will open on its own. They'll be able to go in, fuel their bus. They'll also have access into the restrooms of the facility, so they can get to the restrooms. They can do everything they need to do in order to be ready for that trip. When they leave, the gate shuts behind them. Plus, and then of course you have security as well as security cameras on the property. But a little bit of an issue with the gate because of the slope. So we are looking at using a different gate, but we do have the metal gates right now that we'll continue to use until the actual gates go in. So they're trying to look at exactly how we want to have those gates installed.
I think that's why they were asking the question of me, was because the slope, as you go up the hill, they were wondering what kind of gate system we're going to use. Thank you for that response.
I think, just so you all know, we talked about it today, we may be looking at a double sliding gate, so the gates will meet in the middle, and they'll open right and left, and then they'll close back to the middle. We just felt like it was too steep of a slope for that gate to go all the way to the side that's on the hillside, because it would be, that gate would be 10 or 15 feet off the ground by the time you got to the end of it. So they're making sure to redesign that and make it work for what best fits our needs.
So as they leave, it just, I guess it's a sensor that opens back up and lets them leave.
It'll probably be tied to the same fob that opens it.
They'll probably just close it,
Yeah.
just like your garage door.
Just, we saw those pictures from Vista there, Multi Vista, and I mean, it looks way more better. I've been using that a lot here lately, it's more better. It's more better than what, a lot more better than what we saw it when we last did the visitation up there. So, I mean, I can only imagine how good it's gonna look after we get the pavement down, so. More better, word of the day.
It does look great, and I mean, they've been able to level the lot that was behind the bus parking up there. A nice area up there that I know the board had talked about, and, you know, I won't be here to see it, but at some point in time in the future, if you want to do a maintenance building there, or any type of building you might want to do there, that property is there and it's available to do that. So it's a beautiful project, and my guess is that with a few things going to be out, we might still be January before we get final completion or something because of some of the things that we've had to do, but it's ready for use. So we're in good shape.
Yeah, and all of the inspections, it's passed all of its inspections, and it's ready to use, yeah.
Yeah, it's under fire and security. I mean, everything is up and running, so
Yeah.
we got occupancy on it last week, I believe it
Yes.
was.
I was going to ask that.
That's what I was gonna ask. I thought Mr. Wilson had kind of ventured in and started doing some things probably up there at Mayor.
Yeah. We're going to actually, of course, right now with your school buses, you're under mandate that those buses have to be inspected every 30 days when they're hauling students. We've not been hauling students, but, which has sort of helped us because it's been really difficult to do those inspections, but we're going to, I did talk to Mr. Willis today, and they do plan on doing December inspections on all of our buses. They have been running during the last few months, delivering meals and stuff, so. Facilities pretty much done. We do have a big flying E ordered for the front of the building that everybody will be able to see
That's awesome.
from the road that will be installed on the front of the
I knew
building.
I hadn't seen it, so I didn't think it was up yet.
No, it's been ordered, and we'll get it installed as soon as they get it in. I don't know of anything else we can add on that, Peter.
Okay.
Job well done as of right now.
Okay, next we have a pay application number 10 with associated direct purchase orders.
And of course, this has been reviewed as well by Ross Tarrant. And this pay application is for $410,760.78. And it's been reviewed by Ross Tarrant. As you can see, they made some corrections on it, as they always do. And it's ready for payment. And my recommendation is that that payment be processed.
Do we have a motion? Thanks, Brian. Do we have a second? Thanks, Seal. Any discussion?
everything's falling into order.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Okay, all in favor? Anyone opposed?
Miss Donna voted yes.
Okay. All right, moving right along. Next on the agenda, we have the bleacher project. So we have approved revised state pricing contract with Toadvine Enterprises.
Who would have ever thought the bleacher project would be more difficult than the bus?
No.
But here it goes. Hand out to you, Peter.
Okay. Well, Stephen Willis and I opened the one bid that was received for doing the labor involved with demolition and relocating the bleachers. We did that on November the 5th. It was received from Toadvine Enterprises, which is not a surprise. And their bid on that portion of the work was $40,637. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about it. The way that we need to proceed to get the documentation to KDE to approve is for you all to approve revised state pricing that's been provided by Toadvine, and that contract, and then also award a contract to Toadvine for this thing that was bid, this small portion of the project that was bid last week, or on the 5th of November. And all of these are pending KDE approval. This is the way KDE told us that we needed to proceed with this particular project. And so it's a bit convoluted, but but I think we've got all of the paperwork in order now, so.
And the bleachers are already in manufacture.
They are.
They've already set that off. I mean, we're still gonna be probably February, which of course we knew we was gonna have to wait till after basketball season. But definitely needed at the middle school. Those bleachers were very dangerous, had way past their use. And then of course with the gym project here at the central office, the public will be able to see it. Hopefully we'll be able to have a mushroom festival, and that the public will get to see the renovated gym here at this central office. It will be absolutely, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful as well.
Looks good.
You know, when you have money, you can do these things. And that's the result of the recallable nickel. It shouldn't be a fight no longer. I mean, because everybody ought to be able to see what that has brought to our school district. So anybody still fussing over that, I pray for them. But my recommendation to you all would be to approve or award the bid to Toadvine Enterprises for the contract to install and demo the bleacher project.
Do you have a motion? Thanks, Sheila. A second? Any discussion?
Do we have to do only the state pricing, and we have to do that too, with the motion?
Actually, it might be best if you do it in two separate
motions?
So one for approving the revised state pricing contract, and then a second one to award the contract.
We'll jump
Okay,
back up to the
sorry.
first one.
That's okay, Ron?
You making the
I
motion,
think I'm
Brian?
the one that done it.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, that's okay. And your second? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor of approving? Anyone opposed? Okay.
So you have motions on
Okay.
both. And Ms. Donna, there was two different items there for the contract and for the state pricing contract. You got, yes.
Thank you.
And our board members look at elections, look in our gym and see how good it looks before you leave. You haven't already.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have phase number 7, the renovation project of ECHS.
Right, I'm gonna hop up front and, so that I can point some things out to you all. And hopefully Jeremy will be able to, zoom in a little bit on some things.
I'm gonna share it on the Google Meet there, so that it's down in the.
Okay.
sit straight ahead. I can't twist.
Yeah, I can imagine. So again, thank you all for letting me be here. This presentation is short, but I did want to give you all an update on the project. We've been working really hard on design development, and one of the things that I like to sort of point that out is that last time that I was here showing you all drawings, we had a set of 5 drawings that sort of showed you all sort of schematically what was planned. The drawing set has now grown to 136 drawings, and it's growing even more as we work through this. But we now have 33 civil site drawings, 15 structural drawings, 37 architectural interior drawings, 16 plumbing drawings, 14 mechanical drawings, 21 electrical drawings. So the set is huge, or bigger than it was, and it is, rather than flip through the entire thing with you all tonight, I decided to just kind of hit the highlights and a little selfishly kind of hit the stuff that I probably know the best and show you all how that's kind of developing. So we can scroll through to the next slide, Jeremy. So this is what I ask the folks in my office to do, is kind of highlight some spaces that I might zoom in on. Everybody knows that the building-wide, a lot of the work that's going on in the building is related to MEP, HVAC, lighting work, and that's sort of all over the place. But I thought it might be interesting to sort of zoom into a couple of sections and show you all what we're doing in those and how the drawings have kind of developed. We can go on to the next slide, though. And if you will for me, if you can zoom into this sort of lower right corner just a little. This picks up a lot of the stuff that we're doing. So everybody knows Senate Bill 1 wants every district to address school security, and we are working on a new entry vestibule that'll provide a secure entry into the building. And by adding another wall of doors here that can be locked and keep people from coming into the school through just one, they'll have to enter the school through a new reception area that's been redesigned to accommodate that entry. Across the hall, you all are going to have a new first aid office, and that's got its own restroom, and it's going to be a really great new place to have first aid in the building. And then on every gang restroom in the building, we're going to be replacing the sinks, so you can see that there. And we're going to be doing some interior finish work and providing the principal a more principal-like office in the admin suite in the lower right corner that you can see there. So that gives you an idea of the kind of work as it's developed on the drawings, at least for architecture and interiors. And just know that all over the building, you're going to be seeing lights and a lot of work on integrating HVAC controls.
Peter, question on the green area, the secure entry.
Mm-hmm.
Is that carpet tile in that area, or is that regular tile?
So we've had a couple of different indications from the district what they would like. So Josh just indicated that he liked the E that is there. So currently, we're holding on to the tile that's there, but
Okay.
but we have also done walk-off carpet in those locations that works exceptionally well. So it's just a matter of getting some clarification with which way you all want to go. We can
I
do
think
either.
that's been there for a long time, and I think it's pretty much a tradition. I was just wondering if it was changing.
Yep.
Revisit it.
Okay. Jim, you can probably scroll back out and go on to the next slide.
Yeah. What's that?
Stadium complex and the hopeful alternate number 3, which deals with a lot of the parking areas in the building. But you all can see here everything that's highlighted. We've got the new football field, the new turf football field, the 8-lane track with the grandstand seating and the visitor stands. You have new tennis courts, the alternate. That's kind of a shame that it's labeled as an alternate, but the tennis courts are also going to be new. and the field house addition, which I'll go into in a little bit, and a new greenhouse as well. And so this is a really exciting new development for you guys, and I like these renderings. I think they look really nice. The drawing, which if you want to scroll to the next one, Jeremy, the drawing ends up looking like this, which is not nearly as exciting, but there's a lot more information for the guys that need to build it, so. So we'll scroll on to the next one. And this is the baseball softball complex rendering that's showing the new drive, the 22-foot drive up to the venues. There are a couple of new parking lots as part of the base bid. We've got 6 new buildings. Each facility is getting a concession stand, press box, and restrooms. Each facility is getting a new home dugout, which has some locker space and an office. And they're getting a visitor dugout as well, and a backstop system, which I tend to forget, but that's, and isn't labeled here, but that's
No
also.
more chain link.
Yes.
And what I'm understanding from the football field too, once it's all upgraded, we can have band competitions and stuff, because it's gonna be upgraded enough for that, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
You can play on it every night, every day,
Yep.
march on it all day, all night. Yes,
We'll be
it-
able to
with
host
that
band
turf,
competitions.
it will.
Well, that's why, because, I mean, that's a big great thing to take part in band competitions.
Our band will be able to host a competition that will allow them, we know how hard they work in terms of fundraising. They'll be able to host a competition that will do away with about half of their fundraising
Right.
that they have to do just by holding that one competition.
Right.
And because of their being well-known throughout the state, they'll have no problem being able to attract other schools to come here and participate. And think about what an economic boom that is for our town as well.
Absolutely.
You know, it's one thing that everybody needs to realize, that the school system and first-class facilities is going to bring first-class events, which brings people to your community, which brings dollars and taxes paid into your school, into your county. So it'll be a boom.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win for the community, for the school.
Absolutely.
For the kids,
Mm-hmm.
for everybody involved. I mean, with that turf field, you've got the possibility of maybe even hosting bowl games for football, soccer, regional championships. Right now, the only place you can play a regional soccer match in the 14th region is Perry County.
County.
And Lord
Yes,
knows we're
that's about
tired
the
of
gravel.
going over there every
Yes,
year.
we are, yes.
So Perry may have to get on a bus and come to
Come to
Estill
us.
County.
All right.
And they will have to get on a bus and come to Estill County. It's first class.
Okay,
I have
Jeremy.
a question about the football field and the home side bleachers. We're gonna move those up so they're closer to the track, correct?
Yes, they won't set back like they do now. They'll actually come all the way up onto the track and just be a walkway through there. So basically, you'll have the 8-lane track and about a probably 8-foot walkway, and then
Yep.
you're gonna have the first row of bleachers.
Yeah, with the track, it's difficult to get the grandstand right on top of the football field, but that's a typical condition in these layouts.
So just to piggyback off of Donna's question, so the home bleachers now, will they go over there? Or will they?
This is the home bleacher down here, so they're gonna
Kept
make.
them on the same side.
Mhm.
There's more room and less site work involved if we keep them on this side.
Yeah.
Those are VIP seats
Yes, they're
along the top.
the top here.
Do you want one of those, Brian? Okay.
And the E faces you guys.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
one
so you
thing
can tell
I-
all of those. It's like-
The one thing I will tell you, Peter, that is a pain in the butt if you're holding the track meet is that middle set of gates right there. Off of the track.
Mhm.
Those need to disappear unless it's some
Okay.
kind of fire code thing.
Okay.
There's nothing worse than running 100.
Just this one,
meters.
just
There's
this one.
nothing worse than running 100 meters and somebody opens that gate and steps on the track.
Okay.
And wipes out about 5. I've seen it happen. I
Okay.
coached track for 10 years, and that is the worst thing ever to have that gate right there.
Okay.
Just note to self.
I
Yep.
don't see my train tracks though.
The caboose does get relocated. over
It
there,
does.
Up
I know,
there in
but-
that upper corner.
Yeah, they didn't call it out, but it's either it's gonna be here. I think they may be looking at, exactly how to get it where it needs to be, so.
It looks awesome.
And of course, that tailgate parking area will be a huge selling point too, because, you know, through our school, being able for people to tailgate there, and it'll be an area you can watch the game from, just like they do now. So, and of course, during the regular school day, parking's parking. For the ball games, it can be sort of set apart.
And as a reminder, as part of that, we worked with CMTA about the new NFHS streaming cameras. Make sure we're going to have them run fiber optic. We don't have fiber optic to the press box. Now we're going to have fiber optic over there, as well as to, we're supposed to have to the visitor stand as well for internet access, to make sure we can put in that camera for streaming purposes. And for the announcers and so on and so forth.
I think I had one slide down at the end. Did anybody have any more questions about football? I jumped ahead too far. So that's sort of the drawing of the baseball fields, but I did kind of want to just jump in here real quick, and maybe Jeremy, you can just sort of zoom into the field house just a little bit. This is the existing field house. Wait till he's done. The existing field house, as you all know, it is this top block here, and the new addition is the bottom with 3 new locker rooms, the high school football locker room on the left and 2 smaller locker rooms on the right, and supported by office space, laundry spaces, team storage spaces, trainer spaces. And the other thing that you can note, we are going to be, renovating the locker room for the middle school kids here, and we're going to be making the restrooms larger at the football venue, pulling in another fixture in each one of the restrooms as well. So that kind of gives you an idea of how that particular building is coming along. The roof will be replaced on the whole thing, so that we can, so it'll look like it's
And so
gonna,
everybody know the 2 additional locker rooms are for soccer in the fall and boys and girls track in the spring. So they all have locker areas that they can access.
that's good. Jeremy, you can zoom back out real quick. I don't think, I think maybe I did, yeah, I think this is, I forgot I dropped the elevations in to just sort of give you an idea of what some of these athletic buildings are shaping up to look like. Some of the more interesting ones, I think if you can zoom in a little bit closer there, we had talked about getting some lettering on this building.
Which one?
The bottom right. Yeah, so that's facing the parking lot side of, this is the existing field house here. This would be the new wing, so you can kind of see how balanced it is. And it's going to be a really nice building. And the entrance into the wing in between. And then you can zoom back out real quick and just sort of give you an idea of what the press box concession stand building up there is going to be. That's the one here with the restrooms in the back. And you can kind of see really nice elevation of the front of the, whoa.
Right, which one?
Yeah, keep scrolling up, just keep scrolling up, I think, yeah, so you can sort of see the front that'll be facing the field. The 3 windows on the low end are at the concession stand. Window is around the corner, but then the top 3 are the press box windows as well. A really nice, I think, to have the stairs for this particular building on the inside, which will help protect those for many years to come, which is a nice feature. You notice a lot of those poor buildings have stairs on the outside that are falling apart, so.
Can you show them the inside of the dugout?
Yeah, you'll have to scroll back to the last slide. I think we have some stuff on, no, I'm sorry, the previous slide.
Right.
Yeah, so I think if you want to see the dugouts inside, right here, you can zoom into this one.
That's the greenhouse there while he's there. Y'all want
Yeah.
to see it?
Yeah. So that's the new greenhouse as it will develop. You see the trench drain down through the center. And then it's there aren't dimensions on this particular slide, but I think it's about 70 feet long, 20 feet wide. And we are working on getting a double door down on this one end instead of just a single.
And then the process with that, everybody's asked, there's been several people asked, even somebody asked this at the last board meeting, that ditch line that goes down through there, there's gonna be a lot of topsoil and stuff come off that football
Correct.
field, so that's gonna be brought up level. They can't mess a lot with the ditch, because if you do, it's gonna cost us a fine. But they can clean that area up a lot, and they're gonna have a nice space there when it's all said and done.
So on this one, the actual dugout area itself did not get any color, but this is the area of the dugout, at the home dugout. And then so behind there is sort of a locker room with a restroom, and the coach's office with access from the exterior and the interior, and then a field storage, which is a really nice addition to that particular building that'll be helpful. The visitor dugout is a lot simpler with just the dugout itself.
Peter, what size is that storage? Does it tell?
It does not tell there. I would guess somewhere along the line of 12 by 20. Just looking at it.
And inside the coach's office, we also put storage in there for their uniforms and stuff. because
Yes.
There will be some things maybe in the actual storage area. You know, they might not want to have uniforms out there.
Correct.
Brian, you've coached softball. I've just got a question. Do you, usually they hand their uniforms out. They don't do any laundry or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I just was asking that question. I didn't know.
When coaching, you're glad. Being a parent, you're right there.
Well, it also, sometimes, that's also something that happens is that sometimes, just due to the fact of bad water and stuff like that, you'll have somebody wash a brand new uniform over time in water that maybe is not high quality. The next thing you know, you got a uniform that's got to be replaced. But I also know that's a lot of time for coaches to spend trying to do that. That's why a lot of times people choose gray and darker colors. They stay away from
I've scrubbed many white baseball pants.
Our basketball uniforms sort of got like that.
Yes, they were
You
bad.
know, our white uniforms
Yeah.
got really bad in its last year of service.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that all comes from sometimes who's washing the uniforms.
I have one more question. Do you have like concession stand pictures?
Yeah, I do. They're drawing pictures, but yeah, we kind of slid past that real quick. It's going to be right here. And the first floor of this guy, and I used interiors because I kind of like seeing the spaces kind of furnished, but they don't have the dimensions on it. So I'm lacking that in my presentation tonight. But
It's loading, sorry.
that's okay. It's a large PDF. There we go. So on the lower level, this is the face of the building that faces the field, right? And you have your concession stand workers will enter the building here and work the concession stand. This window around the corner, which is going to be under canopy, will be where people pick up their food, order and get their food. And then also under the canopy will be the entry for people going up to the press box. And that's a stair that leads up there, and then there's a storage and mechanical space over here off of the concession stand. In the back of that area, which when I show you the elevations, the lower portion of the building are the restrooms for each. And then on top, as you head up the stairs of the building, there'll be a door, and then there are two different spaces for in the press box area for press to use to watch the game.
So it's gonna be larger than the one we have now?
I believe so.
I think it
Yeah.
is, yes.
And so like electric's gonna work better, everything?
Oh, yeah, that'll be all new. That'll be all new, yeah.
You actually have sewer lines that you'll
Yeah.
run and water.
Well, I'm just
out of
thinking like
that.
Frederick Douglass, their concession stand there at the football field, you know, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be great in the long run.
You can take credit for that, can't you, Peter?
Right.
No,
No?
we didn't do
I
that one.
thought you did that one.
And I like that concession stand too.
Yes, it's
That's
very
nice,
nice,
so. That's an amazing
I thought you
facility
took
out
credit.
at Frederick
Actually,
Douglass.
during the games, you know, the side concession works better because you
Fayette
don't want
County.
people standing right
Right.
behind home plate.
Right.
But two of the windows on the lower area, they are operational.
Yes,
That, you know, they could sell T-shirts and stuff out of it before the game or between games. But the middle window is not operational to
Right.
just avoid the fact that anybody would be standing in that area.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
softball, baseball. Not one low, that's.
It's okay.
that's okay. I think we got it pretty good.
As you heard Peter say, they're already at 130 some drawings. There's several more to go. I know they've been working diligently trying to get these done, but we want them to make sure that they're right and not rush. And that's what I told them today as we talked. So they're asking maybe sometime around the end of the first week of December, maybe somewhere in
Yes.
there. Give them, you know, Thanksgiving there, right there. I'm sure they may even work Friday after Thanksgiving, but maybe somewhere that week around the 3rd or 4th, probably the 3rd on a Thursday night, somewhere like that, or the following week early.
Yeah.
If you all feel good about it, maybe we could come back and have a special call meeting. It would be for the approval of this design.
That would be really great. We, as you all heard earlier, we're really fortunate on this project to have Codell be part of the team as well. And they're helping us sort of take a look at the drawings. They get them after we do them. So they need some time to sort of take all of that in, and it'll be really great to have their input on the design as well. And KDE likes, you know, for the board to see everything that they require, which includes, you know, sort of environmental information that comes with the BG2, we sort of review, and also cost opinion information. So there's a lot more that we're pulling together for you guys, and we would like to have Codell's input on it as well.
And we did clear one hurdle today. The BG1 was approved by KDE Finance.
Yes.
So now it's back in facilities. So that is still something that is out there, but we're sort of.
I look every day. I look every day just to
We
see.
feel pretty good about that. Hopefully, we're still looking at hopefully a bid date sometime February, early March.
That is, I would think March, but it would be March. I think you have to get CDs, then you need a month for bidding, and then, you know, all of that. So it might be late February.
So it might require a couple special call meetings in order to keep us on track. Because quite honestly, first place we want them to dive into is that football stadium. Because we will want to try to play our first home football game on that field sometime in September. Which is tight, but not out of the question. But now our football team, they're prepared. If they have to go on the road, they'll go on the road. But also, it might not be the most fair to them. The sooner we can get it done, the better off we'll be, because I think we'll have a pretty good football team coming back in the fall. So the pressure's on you, Peter.
Okay, yeah.
You like that pressure, Peter?
I'm smiling.
Better to smile than cry.
April, May, June, August.
That's Kenny Davis. I'll let Kenny Davis answer
You
that
tell
question
Kenny
for you.
Davis, you tell Kenny Davis, we want to play football on that
Yeah.
field by mid-September.
Okay,
It's up to him to drive
there we go.
the project home.
This is true.
He'll do it too.
Yeah, he's a good guy to have on your side, so.
You guys got any other questions?
Great, well, thanks again for all your time
you.
tonight, I really appreciate it.
So we don't have an approval, it was more or less an update that we'd asked and it just didn't get there. So we'll
Okay.
come back next time with an approval of the design,
Okay.
BG2 and BG3.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving, Peter.
Thank you, Donna, you too.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have consent items.
We'll wrap these up pretty quick. Of course, you've got the minutes, the payment of bills. We do have a bus to surplus from the Volkswagen grant that we received $49,000 towards the purchase of a school bus. So we do have to, just like with the clean diesel grant, that bus has to be disabled. But we've got to get it up. Sooner we get it up, get it processed,
Thanks,
we'll get our
Peter.
check. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you all.
We have our CATS offer of assistance, which every year, that's through SFCC. It equals about $50,000 when it's all said and done, and of course, the board has to match that 50. And maybe we can buy one server out of that. And no kidding, we do need to talk tomorrow. We might need to use CARES Act to purchase a couple servers, because the bottom line is, with all the increased capacity of Chromebooks in the district, that's going to drive that a little bit faster, I would think. The more load you put on them and the age.
Just so you all understand, I basically, if you want to say I have a budget, it's all of this CATS offers of assistance that I get each year. And you can roughly say it's anywhere between $80,000 to $100,000, with half coming from KDE, the other half coming from the board's match. You're like, oh, wow, you got tons of money. Well, when you realize that I have to pay a $17,000 licensing fee to Microsoft every year, and what that allows us to put Windows on our servers and Office and things like that, then I have to pay for our wireless system. I have to pay a $14,000 maintenance agreement every year to make sure that we're getting the most updated licensing in case anything happens to any of the items. And so right there, you're looking at almost it's over $30,000 July 1st out of my entire budget, not to mention all the other licensing that I have to pay, like there's an $8,000 Guardian license, and this stuff ain't cheap. And so usually by the end of July of the last couple of years, it's been about an $85,000 budget. I'm down to $30,000. Well, once you buy Chromebooks or you do repairs and you do everything else, it's ate up. And so, yeah, I just wanted you all to understand, like, well, Jeremy, what are you doing with that money? Well, if you ever want to have a personal discussion for me to show you, I'd be more than happy to. But as, I kind of said it in jest, but if we buy a server, my very first year here, I bought 2 servers for photo redirection. And because you're like, why did you buy 2? Well, you have to have one locally, you have to have one off-site. Those 2 servers alone were $14,000. And that's for 2 computers. And that's because you have to have that much capacity to handle everyone in the district. And so when we were talking about the print server failing that Andrew's working on, a solution that I was even talking to him earlier about it, that we would like to get to, is called a virtualized server. You have one server, one box, one computer that you can simulate multiple servers on. Then that way, if that one box fails, you can fail over to a different one and move things. You don't have to completely rebuild the server. So that was what I was talking about when we were saying, redoing everything. So just kind of keep that in mind if the topic ever comes up with, if we need to use CARES money Act or anything, that's why we have to use this. And that's how we would like to have it out here. So just wanted you all to understand, if anybody ever does need more specific information, just give me a call and I'll meet with you and I can show you everything.
But we can probably do that here within the next couple weeks. We can order them before Christmas, okay? Let's not let our network go down.
Yes, sir.
We need to keep it up to date. We've spent too much in technology to not be able to use it. Of course, we've got our dual credit agreement with BCTC, and actually, so you all know, they'll be on site on the ATC site, January 14th. I think the president's going to be here for BCTC, and as you know, they're going to partner with us for adult education classes in the Area Technology Center. They're very excited about that. We also have our Project Home MOU with Markham Wallace Memorial Hospital, and that's some educational programs and stuff that we're doing through the high school. It all comes through grants through Markham Wallace and the community, and we're very appreciative of that. And I know Donna's on here. Did see the other day that John, I don't know if y'all know it or not, John announced his retirement here at the end of the month from Markham and Wallace. And John's been very instrumental in helping us be a part of these grant programs. Very appreciative for the work that he's done. And then there was a proclamation y'all signed a minute ago for Family Engagement Week. And of course, that's through Berea College and our Gear Up programs and different items we have with them. So those are your consent items. My recommendation is to approve those.
We have a motion? Do it a second, thanks. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed?
Public's next.
Okay. Did Donna,
Donna, yes, did vote yes.
okay, thanks. All right, next on the agenda, we have public comments.
Jeremy, I know we had a couple of comments, or a couple of questions before I came down here. I didn't know. I think the first comment was about a lot of the trash that was along Highway 89 there in front of the high school and stuff. And I think a lot of that, we know that the landfill's always been sort of an issue there when people's hauling trash to the landfill. I do happen to have a telephone number of a gentleman that's been contacting me. The landfill's changing hands again. There's a different management company that's going to be taking over. So I actually am going to try to address that particular item with him to see if there's anything that can be done with that one. Jeremy, what about the next one? And this is about in-person classes, and I'll address that here in just a minute with the superintendent's report. And I think those are the only two.
All right, next we have the superintendent's report.
Well, real quick, you have the personnel actions. You have an Estill County funding review, and Jeremy, I don't know. And this comes from.
I'm going to share this with John. Or I'm already sharing it.
This actually comes from the state, and it sort of shows state funding over time from 2008 to 2020. And you can sort of see the different slices of the pie in terms, and this takes into account inflation and the different items. And you can see that state funding in 2008 was 83% of our budget. Now it's 77% of our budget. You can see that local taxes have to make up the difference for that. And this report pretty much shows what total seat funding has been over that time. And we know that the state has struggled with funding of public schools. I thought you all might want to take some time to look at that because, as you know, this is a funding session for the legislature. They only approved a one-year budget. So we are not expecting mid-year budget cuts based on the governor's comments that he made during the last month. I'm not sure how this coming 3 weeks will impact the state budget. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we may be out of the woods on that, and we're not going to know anything probably till March, or at least sometime early April, but they will be enacting a state budget for this coming year. As you all know, we did receive funding for the Area Technology Center operations in the last budget, but the big chunk of the pie was in this coming budget. So I've already started making some reaching out to Senator Stivers and some of our other legislative leaders. I've not got the opportunity yet to meet Bill, our new representative, and I'm going to be trying to place a call to him to set up a meeting with him over the next little bit. And we've always had good relationships with our legislators. As we know, we got Senator Storms has replaced Senator Robinson, and he has fully committed to putting his efforts behind the operations for this facility as well. They're going to have a hard time not funding that facility when they get to look at it. It's absolutely beautiful. We're trying to get Senator Stivers up here. I know that Jim Codell is in contact with him. We're trying to set up a meeting with him where he can come up and view the site. He was very instrumental last time in helping us, and I think he still will be there for us when the time comes. But I thought that would be interesting for you all to look at, and hopefully we'll have a good budget this coming year. There's a review of a budget reduction plan there as well. And this particular document is something that was presented by KDE with a revenue forecast. And as I said, when I put this on there, at that time they were expecting a budget cut through KDE. Now, based on the governor's comments within the last few weeks, there's not going to be a budget cut at KDE. But this was what KDE was proposing if there was a cut. So it might just be something to be on your radar to see how they're trying to handle it. Right now, there would be no cut to seek whatsoever. But with the pandemic and with attendance and the way things are, it's really difficult right now to know exactly what our funding will be. But they've taken care of us so far. And I really expect them to continue to do so. Fundraising reports, those are there for your information. The energy report is there for your information. As always, if you don't have kids in the building for the most part, you're going to save energy. I guess that's a good thing. I'd rather have kids in the building than be spending the money. But that would be something as well. I will add item F and talk to you just a minute about the governor's executive order yesterday that has banned in-person classes for the next 3 weeks. Of course, we were already in a situation because of our status. We had not been attending in class as well. I think we're gonna, at some point in time, need to have a conversation. I know Sean and Jonathan have always been right there with us in terms of trying to help us make the right decision, in terms of what we need to do, in terms of having in-person classes. I am getting worried as a lot of superintendents, and there's starting to be a lot of pushback on the fact that at some point in time, does the physical well-being of the kids, when do we have to start taking into account the mental aspect of what we have going on with kids not in attendance? And that is huge. And I know that there is a lot of school districts right now that are really wavering on these state recommendations. Again, Sean will tell you, he's sitting right there, whenever you go against a recommendation from the local health department and public health, just know that you're opening yourself up for issues down the road. And I'm not suggesting that we do that. I'm just telling you that at some point in time, we've really got to try to focus on getting back in school. But you know, that right now is sort of out of our hands too. It's on the public, it's on our public, it's on our community that we have got to start following the guidelines, quit this fighting about wearing masks, social distancing, and washing your hands. Let's do what it takes to get our kids back in school. Because, listen, I can tell you right now, our teachers are chomping at the bit to have their kids in class. It's hard on them to work from home and work at school every day and come and isolate themselves in a classroom. So it's one of those things. Sheila, you've got a comment?
I've had some feedback from the teachers, and they're concerned about being in the classrooms and not being able to work from home because it only takes one person to infect the others around them.
Well, we are making some concessions here coming up. We're still going to ask them to be in the classroom some, but we're also going to be able to allow them to work from home some as well. I know that that has come up, but I will say this, that if they social distance here at school, we have had very few problems since the first few weeks of school.
Well, we've had, they were talking about some of the surrounding counties are letting their teachers work from home instead of in the buildings.
Yeah. There are a few. There's a lot of people that's having it report. And I mean, it's one of those things that, as for instance, we're letting them work from home Monday and Tuesday
Okay.
of Thanksgiving break. We're not assigning any new student work for Monday and Tuesday because we've got students that need makeup time. They're still going to be trying to meet and contact their kids. We're looking at a plan coming back after Thanksgiving break that will allow them to work from home some days, but it's going to be a hybrid model as well. There'll be days that they'll be asked to report. There'll be days that they're be able to work from home.
Will they be rotating in like groups, or will they?
Yeah, we're going to try to also split the load in terms of that all of them would not report. For instance, we're going to look at half the teachers in the building report on Monday, the other half report on Tuesday. Because Wednesdays is a big day for students that are on virtual. Everybody's on remote learning right now, but we have those students that chose virtual for all year long. Those students are worked with on Wednesdays. So we really felt like the teachers needed to be there in order to reach out to those students that do not plan on returning in terms of any type of in-person. And then Thursday and Fridays would be split as well. What I don't want to ever have happen is that we have really worked hard in our district to say that no matter what your job in the school district is, you're just as important as everybody else. So when it boils down to the fact that our custodians have to report every day, they can't work from home. Our bus drivers are driving buses pretty much and we're even going to work on a plan on that maybe our bus drivers and cooks can only work 3 days a week from Thanksgiving now to Christmas. And we're going to try to make it fair that everybody's the same. Because if custodians and if cooks and if bus drivers and instructional assistants, if they have to work at school and they have to report to school, then teachers need to be treated the same as they are. Because I don't want to set up this situation where we have classified employees that feel like that they're lesser than certified employees. So we're going to try to do something that's equal for everybody. And there'll be times now, just like this, our custodians will still have to work every day coming up. Our maintenance people have to work every day. Sometimes your job just doesn't allow.
Well, we also have to take in the mental aspect of it for our employees too.
Yeah, we've got to give them some time, and that's what we've done. As a matter of fact, today and tomorrow, we gave our teachers the option to work at home or work at school. We've had quite a few that decided to work at school. So we've tried to give them the option if they felt like things, especially right now with the numbers being what they are. But we're really trying to create a situation where we're all in this together. We're all one. We're all treated fairly. We're all treated the same. Because I can tell you last spring, it was very difficult to look at our cooks and our transportation people, and we're telling them you have to work every day, while we had instructional staff sitting at home. And that's just hard. That's a hard pill for them to swallow. So I do think that we have to try to be equal and fair across the board. And I know there's a lot of, listen, and I'll guarantee you, I know that there's been times that said it's difficult on teachers, it's difficult on administrators. Listen, guys, you want me to tell you who this is really difficult on? Parents and grandparents that are not being paid to teach kids and they're having to. And then the kids that don't have that parent or grandparent that's there to do it. That is a big issue as well. This pandemic really doesn't pick out groups. It's hard on everybody. And yeah, I mean, listen, our employees have not had a raise in 3 or 4 years. Listen, our employees are working harder right now than they would be if they were at school. Now, I'm telling you, if kids were in school every day, they're having to work harder right now than they would be under a normal school year. At some point in time, if there's any way possible, we need to look at trying to give our employees a raise in this coming year. But that all depends on that budget. It all depends on the money as well. So it's just something to be thinking back on. And I tell you what, our parents, they deserve a huge pat on the back. So for what they're having to do, and hopefully we're providing good customer service. Hopefully we're there. I know Jeremy can tell you he's worked harder than he ever has. He's on the phone constantly trying to deal with a Chromebook issue. And Tanya is the new DPP. Listen, the role of the DPP has changed so much, from what it was last year to what it is now, and what our principals are having to do. It's just amazing. Cooks, transportation, our instructional aides are help deliver meals. I will tell you this, we've had 3 cooks that have decided that they want to help our kids during Christmas break. So 6 days of our Christmas break, we're going to be preparing meals that families can pick up at South Urban. So once Christmas break gets here on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of both of those weeks, parents will be able to pick up meals for their children at South Urban for those days, because we're trying to make sure that our kids have food during the holidays. So, I mean, I'm telling you what, we've got the best employees in the world. And I want them to all feel like they're in it together, and I want them to feel like that they have the same skin in the game. So that's why we work. We work here at the central office. Our people at the central office, they have opportunity to work from home as well when they need to, when they can. A lot of them find out, it's easier for them to come in and isolate in the office and go ahead and do their job. So we're just trying to be fair across the board to everybody.
And hopefully it'll alleviate a lot of the stress.
Yeah, hopefully it will. As far as what our students are concerned, I really don't believe that even if things got better and the 3 weeks is up and there's 2 weeks left in the semester, I do not think it's wise for us to bring kids back for those 2 weeks. So we're right now planning on the fact that we would be remote all the way to Christmas break. And then our goal is that Christmas break, if things improve on January the 4th right now has been scheduled as a staff work day. I'm going to take that staff work day and we're going to turn it into a school day. And our goal would be, if the numbers are what they need to be, and we'll of course seek the advice of our board attorney, and we'll seek the advice of our health department and everyone else, but we would like to return elementary kids, P through 5, back to school 4 days a week, if we can, if the numbers are what they can. We've got to get our elementary kids in school. Now, high school, middle school would still stay on a hybrid schedule, but we're going to return them back to school as well. That's our goal on January 4th. And we've got to be prepared for that in order for us to be able to do it. So we're going to be meeting with principals on Monday. This is the first time they're hearing this. Tanya and I worked this out this afternoon. Well, it started this morning. and we've worked on it during the day. I got it ready this afternoon. She's reviewed it. We're meeting with principals first thing Monday morning, so they can start making the steps in order to put this in place. If we get the December 30th and we're still 40 and 50 on the metric, of course, there's no way we can come back. But we're going to prepare to come back. Our goal is to come back January 4th, right now. And we've got to try to get back. If basketball can start January 4th, surely we can start school January 4th. And that's what we're looking forward to. So that's our thought process right now. That's what we're going to prepare for going forward. I don't know if you all have any questions. I don't know, Donna, if you have any questions or any comments about that, but we'll be releasing that to the public next Monday afternoon. Once the principals meet, we may tweak that a little bit, but that is pretty much our plan moving forward.
At least we'll have a plan.
We'll have a plan.
I appreciate your hard work, Mr. Saylor. I know these are hard decisions and tough times, and I know it's hard to be a leader and stand up and do what's right, but we want to take care of our kids and our staff, and we're standing on faith that all of this is going to clear up and 2021 is going to be a better year.
We certainly hope so.
Yep.
You guys, anything else? I mean, that's it for the superintendent's report, and like I said, we'll communicate this. We've not communicated anything yet because we were already prepared to go through Thanksgiving break, so we'll get everything out once we get a final document, at probably Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning of next week. And Summer, I don't know if you've got anything you want to say?
Not really. I don't think so. I don't know, I haven't heard from anybody, and anything too important to let you all know. I know everybody wants to go back to school, but they to help with it.
No, it's beyond their control, it's everyone else's experience.
I've learned not to stress about things that are out of my control, so.
Good for you.
It's gonna go with it, you know?
You're a smart girl, you're a smart girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything from the board?
That's everybody, good Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, I need to,
Go down.
I would say this, and just let me say this, I appreciate the fact, I know that a lot of people, have been a lot of good wishes and people checking in on me. I'm very appreciative for that after surgery here on the 28th, and very thankful for the people that I work with, and it's been a good to return back to work here for the last 3 days. I'll don't do this a lot, but I'll personally thank my wife. She probably deserves a big vacation somewhere, but she has been the one. I've not been in pain since probably the first couple days outside of surgery. She's probably the one that's endured most of the pain having to deal with me, but I'm very appreciative of her and everything she's done, and I'll get back into the swing of things here the next few days, and we got a lot of work to do here before Christmas, and looking forward to everything that's going on. There's great things going on in this school district, and very thankful for you all.
we're glad you're well enough to be back tonight.
Well, thank you.
All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion.
You second. Any discussion? All in favor? All right, we are adjourned.
Thanksgiving,
Give
Donna.
everyone.
Take care, everyone. Happy holidays.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Sean.